Welcome to Facts Discovery Video 9. Fine-tuning the ideas. You have gathered everything. You have your arguments ready. You have your categories for each person in your team. You've even done some challenging of your ideas. And you were supposed to put 10 facts for and against. Did you do that? Welcome to number 9. To help you with the facts, there is a chart in the book. List your arguments. Okay, so you should have done that. And if you haven't added to it, finish it. Then think about how each is connected to the arguments each team member will defend. That means that you have facts, you have research, you want to bring them in, and you can go outside. You know, we had that big graph, a blank page last time. Take all that information, which and how is it connected to each team member? How will they defend it? That's what you want to talk about. You want to prepare this. All this information you have, you kind of separated it into pieces. Each team member should have their own ideas. And how are they all connected? How is the first one connected to the second? How is the second connected to the third, fourth, and fifth, etc.? Always learn how to connect and how the rebuttals that you might have are connected. Who is going to handle it? Think of more ideas, because your opposition is going to bring ideas that you didn't think about. And who will rebut them? That's why you have each person have their own topic, their own point. But it's all related, it's all central. And that's what you want to talk about now. How is this all one, and how is it all many? Use more space, always in the book. Then the book, have that notebook. Keep all those points there. Keep it ready. Keep it organized. In the last end is the if-then. And there's that circle in the book. And arguments do not work well in reverse. That means that you are always moving forward. You're changing the argument, you're changing the path a little bit. Maybe you go left and right, maybe sometimes slowly, sometimes fast, hard right. And we use the if-then idea, and the graphic is in the book. Using the graphic you made before, make the graphic using the if-then connection. If this, then that. Work through your arguments. Your plus and your rebuttal and your minus. If this is, then that has to be. Work through that, because that gives you a really good, easy way to go, pro and con, opposition and presentation. That if-then connection, that little wheel is if this, then that. Work through this with your team. Work back and forth, back and forth. If this, then that. How do we address it? How do we talk about it? How can we expand it? Using the organization, you understand this is a constant. This is not a variable. This isn't a changing thing. This is like, if this, then that. X and Y. There are no ABCs. They are X and Y. If this is true, then this also must be true. If this is false, then this is also true, or false. If this is true, then that is false. So you have those kind of scenarios. If then. If this is true, this must also be true. If this is true, this must be false. If then. practice them in different combinations. So if this is true, then that is true. If this is true, then that is false, and reverse. You have 4 scenarios. Practice them with your team. And then when you come to class, you will be ready to work on that debate. It is a constant. Remember that. Sequences. Sequences is what if and then. If, then is a sequence, okay? The confusion comes when you don't have facts. Number 1, you don't have facts. You don't have enough information. You don't know where to get the information. And so you say, if this is true, then, and you are not precise. It gets vague. This is not about assumptions anymore. This is not about vagueness. This is about being very precise. So if this is true, then that has to be true. There is no maybe, there is no then this maybe is true. There's no, watch those words. Maybe and all those vague words. Don't be vague. Be very precise. Answering as many if-then sequences. So you have a circle and you just make the circle bigger. You go me and I'm team 1, and you go team 2, team member 2, team member 3, team member 4. So it's like if, then, if this, and you go back and forth. Practice it with just a partner, and practice it as a challenge. Split your team in half. Work through it. Take time. This is not a 10-minute idea. This is work through as many ideas. You've already made them in your graphics, and now is the time to practice speaking them. Rebuttal and response. Okay? Rebuttal and response. Rebuttal and response. Making the point, that is easy. Rebutting the point and adding to your argument against is a challenge. Debate practice is about to begin, and is the team ready? Are you ready with all your notes? Are you ready for precise ideas? Can you do it without cards? Make cards if you need to, but you are presenting without a lot of notes. This is make yourself strong. Is a statement understood correctly? If you tell people, this is the position I'm taking, the statement should tell you that. Do people understand it? Is it vague? Maybe you need to adjust it. Now is the time to do it. What side issues are there that are not connected but maybe brought up? So many people, when I talk to them about an argument, they talk about ideas that are not directly to my point. And so the opposition will try to do that with you. They will bring out the side issues that are not important to your point. You have to recognize them, and in your rebuttal say, this is not the point. The point is, so rebuttal. Don't get sidetracked. Stay on track. Stay on track. And that's why you have information. That's why you have those graphic organizers to keep you organized. Precision. You don't have a lot of time, and you need to understand your statement. Be careful of those side issues. Those side issues will always be brought up by the opposition because they don't have a good argument. But they have to say something, and you will have the same issue. You want to say what you want to say, but you don't have, you can't put it into precise terms. So you have to write it and rewrite it and write it and rewrite it. Be precise. That's why long, I said before, paragraphs that are long helps you see what you're doing, and then you bring them down to a statement. It's very, very important, and at this point, you have to be ready for that. Many points are made, but not relevant to the statement. That is the danger, always the danger. The team must be ready for these to refute and bring the argument back to the core point. Bring it back. They want you to go off this way and get distracted. If they distract you, you lose your debate. You lose your argument because you spend too much time arguing about something that's not important and you don't get your point done. Remember, this is a time idea. So practice this in class to fine-tune your rebuttal and strengthen your position. You cannot spend enough time doing this. Now is the time to challenge each other. In review, establish the facts and not assumptions for both sides. That's so important. So many people assume things, and you can't have that. It has to be precise and with facts. And you have the facts. You have the research. Establish that. Challenge using the if-then graphic. It's really great. You get together as a team, and if this, use your notes, use your points. You should have 10. You should have 10 points for each person. Not 10 points as a group, 10 for each person. It sounds like a lot. It is a lot. But you want to make sure your opposition doesn't surprise you. So you are ready. So how many arguments can you use in your rebuttal? Well, you can use many, but stick to one. One rebuttal, one argument. Maybe two at the outside, but don't get distracted. You want to say more, but remember that you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make your point. They will rebut, they make a point, you rebut and make your point. Don't get distracted by going too many arguments. Too many arguments makes you sound weak and not prepared, because most of the time those arguments can be put into one idea. They are just expansions of the idea. And so in discussion you can have that. But in rebuttal, stick to their point. Stick to the points they bring. If they bring more, you talk more. Stick to the point. Don't get distracted. Be prepared for the challenge. Video 10 is coming, and you'll be ready. Kind of a wrap up to this program so that you can work on debate in class, out of class, before the time. You still have time to be ready. See you for video 10.